Hey, welcome to Talking Hawks, where we talk all things Hawthorn. We're the biggest Hawthorn fan-based channel on the planet, and we bring people from all around the world to talk about the Hawks' glorious win. How is it, fellas, coming off a win?
It is a much better feeling than had it been the other way around.
Oh, mate, they keep us guessing this year, don't they, fellas?
The lid's off. The lid's off. We're back. No, it was very good. In close games, it's always 10 times better to be on the winning side than the losing side, and plenty to get stuck into, which I'm looking forward to.
Fellas, I'm loving it. I'm loving this. I'm actually really enjoying this year compared to the previous few years. It's like the one thing that I'm seeing is that we never, ever give up. And it doesn't matter where you fall. It's just, do you boys fight to the end? You know, we get frustrated throughout the game, and I did find myself swearing a few times. But man, how I love this game, that turnaround at the end for us to just come back and then hold them off. It was just like, it was such a great game. I loved it. How good does it feel?
Yeah, the fact that we've done it twice this season already from 30 plus down, you don't want to be in that position. But the fact that we can claw our way out of it is such a positive thing for us.
All right. Well, if you're joining us tonight, thanks for joining us. And let us know where you're watching from. Hit it in the comments where you're viewing from. Welcome. Like I said, we're from all around the world viewing the Hawks, so it's great to have you here tonight discussing this wonderful win. And we are going to discuss St Kilda too, aren't we, fellas?
Yeah.
All right. Yep. All right, we got some things we want to cover off on. Boys, it's Clarko's birthday.
The great man.
Clarko, the great man.
It's awesome. How old is he? Chris?
No, couldn't tell you.
Oh.
I'm not that prepared.
What, Reese, you don't know?
No, this is as scary as a woman at a party going, "How old do I look?" No, I'm not playing this game.
That's where the fans will throw it in the comments because they're smart. But anyway, happy birthday, Clarko. We don't really need to know how old you are.
Well, we know he listens. Well, at least we hope he does anyway. But happy birthday to you, mate. And you don't look a day over 48. So you're doing great. And look, it's boys, if we'd have lost that match, what then?
We'd be in tears right now, I think. And this conversation would be totally different.
All right. So, I don't know about you, but through it was around the third quarter, I was starting to think, okay, I'd be dropping Shields, I'd be dropping Tim O'Brien, and the midfield's a worry. What are we doing with Mitchell? But Clarko come out around half time, and he gave the midfield a spray, saying, "You boys aren't lifting your weight, and you need to deliver more." And man, that midfield went bang. And the other coaching brilliance from Clarko was that he put Tim O'Brien down back because we were getting absolutely dominated up front, and it absolutely shut off this stream of goals from Adelaide. I think they only scored one goal in the last quarter, and
2 goals in the second half.
Yeah,
after kicking 14 straight in the first half, which was embarrassing. But yeah,
well, I don't think it was embarrassing. They just didn't miss.
So, I think at one stage, I think they had 10 forward entries for 7 goals or something crazy like that. Yeah, it was off the charts.
It was staggering. Their run and carry through the midfield was frightening, and their ability to penetrate the middle of the ground, get it up there into their forward line was absolutely scary, and there was nothing we could do about it. And we certainly didn't have they were killing us in the air, taking contested marks in their forward 50, and we had nothing to stop it. But then enter big Timmy O'Brien. Timmy, he enters in and he saves the day and he shuts it down, and he actually held marks in the back.
Yes.
Oh, Clarko, finally listen to us.
You are so hot and cold, Brad. One minute you're on the hate bandwagon, the next minute you love him.
God, I don't hate him. Come on. You can't. You can never say I hate him.
I'm sure you said that a snake had better hands than Tim O'Brien.
No, that was not me.
I'm sure.
You're putting words in my
mouth. We'll put the bickering out. The positive about Tim O'Brien going back is it's not too late. I don't want to use. Well, all right, we'll use it. Why not? The failed forward premise. We've got the likes of Liam Jones, Darcy Moore, arguably two of the top 5 key backs in the competition. We won't touch on how Collingwood are going with more, but even Jaden Laverde for Essendon, who trained with the back half. I mean, it's not too late for Timmy to hold down that third tall back spot, surely?
Well, whose spot is he taking is the question.
We probably don't have that third tall because you've seen Scrimshaw just wasn't up to the task on the weekend. He was playing that third tall role and he was just whether the matchup was just too tall for him, but he just couldn't handle it. Do you agree?
Yeah, he was getting dominated.
Back pocket, Scrimmer. It's a bit harsh.
He's reasonably tall, but he just couldn't hold down the third tall.
Oh, they were too big for him. He was getting out.
I love the guy, and he had a great game. It was just being outmarked.
Yeah, absolutely. He was getting slaughtered. So, still he had a good game. Now, sorry, just in my defence, I've never ever said I hate him, and I've never bagged hate on Tim O'Brien. What I have said is that if he could hold a mark, the man would be in the top 10 players in the league right now.
Most importantly, took a mark in the last minute, which saved the game.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Timmy.
Thank you, Timmy, and well done, Clarko.
Games now, boys. Kick the winner against Essendon and save the winner on Sunday. So hats off to Timmy. Keep it up, mate.
All 2 of them.
Yeah.
Hey, look, there's one other amazing thing that's come out of this week is that we're above Collingwood.
It's a good feeling.
Oh, it feels great. 6 games in and we're sitting above Collingwood. Like,
do we have any sympathy for Graham, right?
No.
No? Okay, cool. All right. What?
No, don't worry, he's crying into his money at the moment. So
he's got his work cut out, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's got the bag full of money. He's just crying into it. So it's the tears being caught by the cash. So it's okay.
Right.
He's doing all
right. For a team that obviously did get up by 3 points, I think we do have to talk about that second quarter. Even I think it was Champion Data have a stat called expected scoring. So where you kick a goal from, you have a percentage based on where everyone on all grounds has that shot. And of those 10 shots, they were expected to kick 8. So not only were we leaking goals, we were leaking goals in easy spots.
Yeah.
Was it lack midfield pressure? Was it the defence being overwhelmed? Because I thought the defence really picked up in the third quarter.
Yeah, no, I think it was coming in quick and too easy. They were just game plan. However it was structured, I think they were just getting it easy. I don't think it was the backs not performing.
It was too fast. You know, it was 6-6-6. You can't throw a man down back.
I'm not sure how many they scored from the centre clearances, but I think they went on a bit of a run and they scored 3 or 4 almost in a row from centre clearances.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we really stopped them in that second half.
Yeah, we were definitely getting beaten in the midfield and especially in the clearances. And it was so weird. Like we dominated in the middle for a little bit in the first quarter, and then they dominated in the middle. And the thing with them too is they just weren't missing. Like we're just not used to this level of accuracy. It was unprecedented the amount of goals they got without points as well. So. But the high percentage of conversion was just staggering. It's just unprecedented what they were doing. But I don't know about you boys, just as a footy lover, that game was so good to watch. Like the run and gun, the high scoring, the theatre of it all. It was just such an exhilarating game to watch.
After the first 2 rounds of the season where almost every game was just attack. Then I think if the coaches worked out a few strategies and really slowed the game down, and we went back to that round 1 frenzy where it was just attack at all costs. And I enjoyed watching. As much as I hated watching us, being behind, I still enjoyed Adelaide's attack and the way they scored their goals.
I don't know about you, but it shows me the importance of coaching and the relevance of it. Where Clarko changed the magnets around and it made a difference, and it got us back in. It stopped their run, and it actually got our boys up and got us the win. It was just masterstroke there from Clarko. Absolutely
on
masterstroke.
the back of that 10-goal second quarter to Adelaide, I did read a stat that said there's only been 6 teams in the history that have kicked a 10-goal quarter and lost the game. So that just shows how good our response was and being able to come back and win.
Future's looking good, boys. It's looking very, very good. So what are the areas you think we need to fix going forward? Like, because, I mean, they scored nearly 100 points against us. What was it, 98 points? So that's a lot of points, right? I mean, where did we go wrong? Where are we going wrong at the moment?
I think we fixed it. Not fixed it entirely, of course, but I was just watching the game and just wondering why Kyle Hartigan and Sam Frost were giving their opponents this step. You can play you can play forwards from behind. That's absolutely fine if that's the way you defend. But playing that step behind and not shoulder to shoulder, Riley Thilthorpe playing in his first game is going to have speed over size just because that's how he's built. Elliot Himmelberg's not, a contested beast, and we were just letting them run and jump at the footy. It just kept happening, and I was ready to rip my hair out. Not that I've got a hell of a lot of it left, but once we hit the third quarter, I saw Kyle Hartigan stand next to Elliot Himmelberg in the third quarter, and he just kept nudging his shoulder even when the ball was on the wing. He just kept touching him in that touch, and Himmelberg didn't have an influence. Frost did the same thing to Thilthorpe, and Tim O'Brien played Thilthorpe that exact way with the saving mark. He started on his shoulder, read the ball, attacked it, and marked it, and part of me wanted to go, you beauty, and the other part wanted to go, well, finally, thank God you figured it out.
Yeah, well, I didn't actually think about it till now, but had we had Segler play, I almost feel like Clarko would have almost chucked Big Boy down back just to cover it.
Well, he did for a little.
He didn't have that option. Well, Big Boy pushes down there naturally, but I reckon, yeah, Clarko would have put him down there just to just stop the flow, but he didn't have that choice, did he?
I like Segler, but I'm kind of happy he wasn't playing. Is that terrible to say?
I think he's still 2 weeks on the injury list, so we're going to have to find a way. That's probably going to keep Tim O'Brien in, probably Mitch Lewis in, playing that second ruck role, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're better without Segler at the moment. Don't get me wrong. I love Segler. I just think that we're a better team more dangerous without him.
Watching Box Hill on the weekend, I just don't think Keegan Brooksby's there, and Ned Reeves, as good as he's been playing, I just still don't think he's AFL ready.
But do we even need a second ruck?
No, we don't. The teams that are playing 2 rucks, barring West Coast, who aren't going that flash, by the way, their second ruckman is young. Look at the Dogs, Stephen Martin, Tim English is young. You look, Melbourne, obviously Gorney's not old himself, of course, but Luke Jackson's 19. Not only are we playing 2 ruckmen, we're playing 2. Well, let's face it, we're playing 2 old ruckmen.
Yeah. I'm happy with just Big Boy being there in the ruck, and that's it. I'm really happy with it. I like that. Let Tim O'Brien jump in and do it. So now, boys, we had the joy of going to the President's Luncheon for Box Hill this weekend, and might I say, the guest speaker was Sam Mitchell, and it was great. It was a really good experience. We went to go hear Sam speak. So we got there. I think it was started at 12, and Chris and Matt turned up at 12:30, and within that period of time, Sam did his 2-minute speech, and he left. And Chris missed the highly motivational speech, didn't you, mate?
Certainly did. Yeah, I was just like, when's Sam speaking? Oh, has he spoken already? Yeah, that was it. 12:30. Was it 12:15? 20 past 12? It wasn't 12.
Yeah, you got there half-assed. That's okay. But either way, it was a little disappointing we didn't hear more from the great man, but that's okay. but it was a bloody great event, and I could not recommend getting down to Box Hill. That's such a great ground, and watching the Hawks play. Now, it's the first time I've gone there and watched them play, right? So I've seen them play in other places, but never at Box Hill. I've got to tell you, it was bloody entertaining. And the great thing about it is seeing these young blokes coming through who you're keeping an eye on and wanting to see do well. And there was one young bloke who stood out to me.
I wonder who this is.
Holy cow. He's an excitement machine. Emerson Jeka.
There he is.
Right? Emerson Jeka. The man could have kicked 7 or 8 goals. He kicked 5, and it was wet. And boy, was he was exciting. And the man needs a game.
He certainly does. And he probably would have earned it in any other round this season. But the fact our 3 big boys played so well, I think we're going to have to wait a little bit longer, as much as everyone's screaming for him. But I think the key thing I picked up from watching the game at Box Hill was probably his second efforts. And just if the ball was, 10, 15 metres away, he wasn't working hard enough to make the contest or make an option, and just his defensive pressure. So I think that's where he's probably lacking, and maybe it's just match fitness. I don't know, or if it's I don't know. But that's what I'm feeling like. The other boys are really Cosy, Lewis, O'Brien, second efforts, and just their defensive pressure is what's keeping them above him, Jeka.
Yeah, mate, I think that's a pretty tough analysis there, and clearly he wouldn't get a run in the Pines first for you, mate. But it's for me, he was bloody exciting. I loved it, and I don't know. I thought his second efforts were
I'm a
pretty
massive
good.
fan. I've been saying it since last year, but
come on, man, don't go jumping on the bandwagon now, Chris. All right,
go turn the tables, mate. You didn't even know his name last week.
I did. Yes, I did. I've been saying it for the last 2 weeks. All right. So, but still, I love him and he's brilliant. I'm dying to see him get a game. And look, I think I don't know who he'd replace, to be honest, because we've also got Gunston coming back in soon. Yeah. So, who's going to drop out for Gunston? And then, if Jeka's knocking on the door and banging the door down, that means someone's got to have a bad game in order for him to come in. So, but mate, it's so exciting that we've got this depth of young talent coming through. Finally, it's been a decade. So it's just such a relief, and I'm enjoying it.
I mean, the most impressive thing for me was that not only did he kick 5-3, and look, no one's happier about that than us, of course, but he had 20 touches, which I think was third for Box Hill on the day.
Yeah.
So it's not, it's not like he's had 5-3, had 9 touches, and 5-3 on any days. Impressive, but yeah, he led up at the ball, and we might have a tall forward that can kick on his opposite foot. Wow.
It's exciting.
Just a little banana, the banana on the boundary. That was bloody great.
The crowd went crazy.
The noise, that's what I was about to say. The noise was insane.
But I tell you what, for the noise, there wasn't many crowd there. I'd love to see a bit more support from the locals and you guys that are Hawk supporters. Just get down to the ground and support these guys. Because at the luncheon, at the president's luncheon we had, I think they said the club made a $400,000 loss last year, basically because of COVID. So, they're doing it really hard. And yeah, it's sort of, I know Hawthorn's in a strong position financially, but I think Hawthorn and Box Hill have finances are separate. So, yeah, to get down and support the boys and yeah, get behind them, put your money there.
Yeah, love it. All right. So, boys, now we cannot do a recap of last week without talking about Cosy.
Oh.
Right? The great Cosy Osco. Holy cow. How good was he?
Well and truly deserved his Rising Star nomination. So 5 goals, 3, 14 disposals, 9 marks, 3 of those contested, and 3 tackles. So very, very solid game, and pretty much won the game for us. Well, obviously, there's a few more plays, but
Mate, I've been waiting for him for years. This is his 4th year now, and 2 of those he was injured for. So it's like, okay, fair enough. So let's give him some time. I just thought he was going to fall into obscurity, be one of those players that was on our list for 4 or 5 years and then drop away. But he's come out with a bang this season, and he's really, really stamping his name on it. And he's pushing for a permanent spot in the team, which I don't mind, fellas. I don't mind that at all. If he plays like that every week, he was a man on a mission. He was holding his marks. I think he might have dropped 1 or 2, but it's like the rest, you take that. You don't mind that if he's kicking a bag of 5. So I really enjoyed it.
He had his breakout game in the preseason against North Melbourne, I think, and kicked 6, was it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But how much do you rate that preseason? What's his opposition like? But now he's come out and done it in a regular season AFL game. Like, I think that would have done a great thing for his confidence, and now he's just going to believe he can do it every week.
Yeah, and look, he's the thing with him is he's like a Gunston though. He's not a tall forward. In my mind, he's not. He's not like this high-marking, tall forward that outbodies everyone. He's a lot more like Gunston, where he's a smart player. So I don't ever think he'll be that Jonathan Patton or I'm not supposed to say his name anymore, am I? I don't think he'll ever be that big leading forward. Do you have an opinion on that?
I thought his body work. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you go for it. No, you go.
I actually thought his body work was great, and I think the first quarter he got the rewards for those. CJ, we'll talk about him shortly, setting him up for that 3rd goal. The behind the goals footage just showing how he worked off his opponent, and then he as you said, 3 contested marks. His body work was great, and we were seeing him putting those marks down as early as 3 weeks ago, and they all stuck. But it was like we were saying about Jeka, his second efforts when the ball hit the ground. That's what we want from him every week. We can't expect him to kick 5. He's not going to kick 5 every week, God's sake. But he couldn't. So how's poor Jacob? But if those efforts on the ground are there every week, whether he kicks 1 or he kicks 5, his magnet won't move for a decade. But it was really pleasing to see. And that 5th goal that he kicked to lure his opponent to jump as well. He was the only crummer. I'm with you, Brad. Footy smarts, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Well, let's hope we get to see Jeka soon. I don't know who we'd need to see fall out in order for that to happen, because that's always the question I have, is if you're bringing someone in, who's dropping out, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want to see Jeka don the vest or be the sub. I want to see him play a game. It's I think he's wasted there as a sub. Anyway, but let's hopefully he gets a game. Now, boys, let's move along. The next excitement machine, CJ. How bloody good was he?
Wow.
He's lighting it up, and it's funny reading the comments on Facebook and whatnot about like all the supporters are really loving him and what he's doing. So, yeah, just goes to show how good he is going at the moment.
Yeah, Scott Williams, Brad, what do you rate higher at the moment, Jeka or CJ's rig? Oof.
I did see CJ's rig, and it's very impressive.
Yeah, I'm going to go Jeka. Because he said CJ's rig, and I'm not into that. So, like Chris, so I'm going to say Jeka is more impressive at the moment. So, yeah. Now, Glenn's asking, where does Brockman fit in?
Well, probably long term, he's going to be in that small crumbing forward position that Rioli sort of dominated for years. But I believe he injured himself on the weekend, so I'm not sure how many weeks he'll be out for, or he might be a test for this week. But I've got a feeling he'll probably won't be in this week. And but long term, like for a kid to come straight into AFL and have the impact he had, bloody amazing. So, yeah, long term, he's going to hold that damn position down for 10 years, I think.
Yeah, I think he'll be back in. But again, like Ollie Wines, him playing in the reserves did Ollie Wines, sorry, Ollie Hanrahan. he played so well. A stint in the reserves did him absolute wonders, and he's come back with a bang. So I'm really enjoying him at the moment. So we're pushed for depth at the moment. I'm loving it. Okay, so Michael Cummings asks, imagine Jeka cutting and running through hard through the corridor on a wing. I actually like that idea, Michael. I just don't know if we're losing the benefit of him being down half back. His intercept marks and the way he's running carry off half back, man, it's just so powerful. And we have not had that sort of speed off half back since Burgoyne was young, I suppose. No.
Got Impey out as well, who's just going to slot back in magnificently. I think a few fans not have forgotten about, but when guys are out long term, they don't feature in these sorts of conversations. But yeah, when Wilbur comes back in, we're going to be quick. That's the thing that's sort of blowing my mind a little, is that you listen to commentary from any media outlet that's not Hawthorn fans. It's old, it's slow, it's old, it's slow. CJ, Will Day, there's a good little rhyme there for all the Dr. Seuss fans, but it's exciting, quick. Brockman's quick. Yeah, I'm excited. This is, I think during these wins like this week, and no matter what happens in the St Kilda game, I think we've got a lot more to look forward to than perhaps some clubs that are around our spot on the ladder. So, yeah, very optimistic.
So talking about Will Day, observing at Box Hill on the weekend, he was in the moon boot on the bench, but he had the headset on, so he was having a bit of a coaching role on the bench. So good to see young Will, learning the craft and just having an input for the club.
Yeah.
So that was great to see.
Actually, one of the other highlights of the day is we got to meet Denver Granger-Barras. That was bloody exciting. We got a photo with him. He's agreed to come on the show as well, which is a bonus. So, and if you're watching Denver, we're looking forward to having you on as well. So it was bloody exciting getting to meet him.
So we don't want to pump it up too much. He just said he wants to get the runs on the board first before he talks it up too much. So yeah, we're behind him, and yeah, can't wait for him to earn his stripes so we can get him on the show.
Yeah, Doro, we'll talk him up. And he said he wants to take Sicily's spot. So Sis wasn't too happy to hear that, apparently. Yeah. So, because I asked, is Sicily ever going to go back to the forward line? He said, nah, that's his spot now. And it's like, oh, interesting. And he said, yeah, I told him I'm taking it off him. And I'm like, oh, geez, look at you, mate. Bit of swag.
I would love that, bro. And I think Clarko would love that as well. Surely you look at the best bloke and go, I want to beat you.
Yeah.
Whether it's in tongue-in-cheek or I hope there's some competitive seriousness about it. There probably is. This young player,
he's super competitive. He's
a competitive player. Going, I want to take your spot. Oh, yeah. Hello. Competition between those two. We've got a gun.
I've got to say, too, he's such a great bloke as well. Like, you wouldn't, talking to him, you wouldn't think he was a 19-year-old.
No, not at all.
Most 19-year-olds can't string a sentence together. This kid... He was talking like he was 30, and I thought, geez, it's anyway, but I digress. All right, Bronny James is asking, why does Finn Maginness not get a go? Can we get some insight? All right, Bronny, so he did play this week. He was the medical sub, and he did get half a game when Burgoyne went out with his ankle injury. So he's getting a go, but he's not quite there. I question whether he's ready, but I've had some pushback on my questioning. So in some of the online forums that I've posted that in. So, boys, what are your thoughts on Finn Maginness at the moment?
Well, thanks from the question from the troll, but Finn had about 30 or 40% game time on the weekend, and I think he finished the game with about 2 handballs. So I think he's just still learning to be in the right positions, and yeah, he'll take a little bit more time to develop. So at least he got a run, and he's getting some experience at the top level.
I was super excited about him last year, and And then when he played, it was sort of like, it sort of took the wind out a bit because he didn't appear like he was ready for it. But I'm hoping this year in about halfway through the season, he'll start to find his stride and kick in. But geez, he's an exciting prospect as well. So I'm looking forward to it. Is he a victim
of us having too many similar of his type, such as like a James Cousins or a Liam Shield? I think that might be a roadblock for him as well. But yeah, he's still young. He's still learning his craft. So we're not jumping off him for sure.
And potentially, like you said, competition for that spot. A few of the viewers are talking about Connor Downey. He didn't play at Box Hill on the weekend. I think he got sent down to Tassie as another reserve, but they chose Maginness instead. So, I think Hartley was the other one that might have got sent down. So I'd expect those boys to play in one team or the other. So probably Box Hill for Downey and Hartley. But, yeah, you don't want to have 2 weeks off in a row, especially with this medical sub rule too.
No, you don't. That's for sure. All right, boys. We've spent enough time on the past. Let's look to the future and the game against St Kilda. Tell me your thoughts, fellas.
I'll go. So I've got the last few results here in front of me. St Kilda's last 3 games. So they had their big comeback against West Coast. I think they were about 40-odd points down for that comeback. They had an impressive win there in round 4. Round 5, they played Richmond and got spanked. And round 6, they played Port and got spanked. So, they're not really meeting expectations. They were probably touted as potential top 4 this year. And
that was me.
Yeah, I think, we might be catching them at the right time to sneak a win. But, look, they're going to be on the rebound too after those 2 losses.
Does St Kilda have a rebound?
Well, we'll soon find out, won't we?
I've never known St Kilda to be a team that rebounds. But all right.
In comparison, our last 3 games, so we went down to Freo in a game that we potentially could have won. Got spanked by Melbourne ourselves, and then fought out that win with the Adelaide Crows. So we're a low team, but have played quite well this year. So it's very hard to gauge on that form line and the opposition where we're at against Saints. I was quietly confident, and then I heard that Paddy Ryder's back in the team, so that gives me a little bit of doubt there. But
so one man's going to be the difference.
Potentially, we've been losing it in the ruck heavily. McAvoy's played okay, but not to the standard we've expected, and that might be partly due to Segs not being by his side, and he's had to have a lot more workload. So, what do you boys think?
Over to you, Reese.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. St Kilda have won 5 quarters this year out of 24.
It's not very good.
They're equal last with North Melbourne on that front. So,
yep.
Are we above them on the ladder now?
Yes, St Kilda.
No, well, it's a no-brainer. Cool.
I think the Ryder, not skepticism, but I think the worry with Ryder is that in the last, especially sort of 3 or 4 games, the opposition ruckman and first touch in the midfield guys have been killing us. Gawn was best on ground against us, and Petrarca and Oliver were amazing. Riley O'Brien was awesome on the weekend, tapping it to Ben Keys, who was arguably best on ground. Don't shoot me for that, Hawks fans. Jeka was amazing too. So if Ryder comes back in and he's fully fit, fully confident, and he'll be tapping it to Jack Steele and Brad Crouch, I think there is a little bit of worry there. But I don't know. Jack Steele's been in amazing form, and we're above them on the ladder. I don't think there's any excuse here. We could absolutely get them.
All right, Reese, I'm curious to get your thoughts. If we're going to win it, where's it going to be won?
I think what the Saints did well against West Coast is they're very much a momentum side. When you only win 5 quarters for the year, and we've already played 24, it's not a lot. But where they got West Coast after being 5 goals down is they kicked 2 in a row when they were off. Now, unfortunately for us, Adelaide kicked 10 in the second, and obviously we can sit here and go, we can't let that happen again. And every fan is thinking the same. But what I like about facing St Kilda is they've got too many of the same type. it's almost beautiful. But I think where we can get them is definitely our small forwards as well. Luke Breust was back to form in parts. I think Dylan Moore will be able to hit the scoreboard. Dougal Howard's having a great year for the Saints, but if we can bring the ball to ground, we're going to be so dangerous. And don't forget, in the only game we've played at Marvel this year, we kicked 90 points. I think we can keep them to under 90 as well. Hardigan will go to Max King, hopefully hold him. Max is a bit out of form at the moment. We've got Frost, who can go to Tim Membry. And if they play Josh Battle forward, the saviour, Timmy O, third tall.
Yep.
We
well work out that way, I reckon.
We're getting them at an absolutely beautiful time, and Marvel doesn't hold as much nightmares as it has in the past. So if they're it's easy to say if their midfield gets on top. We could almost say that every week. But, not only could we get them, we should be getting them, I think.
Good. I like that summary. What about you? What do you think, Chris? Where are we suspect against the Saints?
Suspect is probably that midfield battle. If we lose the midfield battle, we'll probably lose a game. But on a positive, not a positive, with Burgoyne going out, wow, he's going to be a test. He's listed as a test after doing his ankle, but I can't see them playing him.
Yeah.
It looked like he rolled it and then he got stepped on in the same incident. So I reckon he'll be out for a week. But
could be the sub, maybe?
Hopefully, Gunston back in the team. I think that'll just give us a lot more structure.
So he's definitely back this week.
He's not definitely back. He's listed as a test, but sounds like he's been training with the group for quite a few weeks now. And I think he was itching to play, and they've held him back against the Pro. So
I'm excited.
I'm really hoping that he's back in the team because I think it'll make a huge difference.
Yeah, good. All right. So who do you think that we should be tagging anyone during against St Kilda?
I feel like my opinion might be unpopular, so you go first, Chris.
All right. Our typical taggers had been Liam Shields in the past, who's done a great job, but has turned a lot more offensive in his last couple of years. But Warple's the man at the moment, isn't he? He's new developed role, and he's been quite successful. So, question is, who does he go to? What do you reckon, Reese?
Or should we?
I think
should we tag someone?
I think probably Jack Steele's the man to go to for mine, but or Crouch. But yeah, Steele for me. What do you think, Reese?
I'm big on this. Not if we tag Jack Steele, it needs to be James Warple, and I'll explain why just in a sec. But I think it just for me, not that Clarko's going. I want the dude in the glasses to give me his opinion, but Liam Shields. You're going to live in.
My name's not Clarko, mate. It's Brad.
Liam Shields, he's Brad Crouch's pocket. You stay there, as we said before. Ruckman to first touch at the stoppage is what's been getting us. And Jack Steele is arguably top 10, top 5 in the Brownlow so far. Probably having an underrated season, which is weird from a guy that finished equal third last year. He's dominating, and the Saints are a dumpster fire at the moment. But Port Adelaide last week did put some work into Brad Crouch. It wasn't a hard tag, but live in Brad Crouch's pocket, stop their first touch. I think if we do tag, I think Liam Shields goes to Brad Crouch and goes, I'm living here. And mainly because Brad Crouch doesn't go forward. It's not like tagging a Petrarca or a Dusty, for example. Not that Brad Crouch is in that category, but if Brad Crouch is at full forward, I think as Hawthorn fans, we'd be laughing.
Yeah. And what are you saying? Warple goes back to a traditional attacking role?
I think so. I think what he did in the second half, and I'd love if Hawthorn fans want to go back and watch it because it's brilliant. In guys like the Petrarcas and the Dusties that we were talking about are very stoppage forward. So they'll do the centre bounce. The ball will go forward. They'll follow the ball forward. In the second half, Jimmy Warple was going from the stoppage and then going back. Not deep back, of course, but he was staying 55, 60 metres off, and he was causing so many balls coming to ground in the second half. We put pressure on Adelaide's back flankers, Brodie Smith, Paul Seedsman, who tore us up in the first half. We let our talls compete against their talls, and then Jimmy Warple was there helping us back, and at Marvel Stadium, St Kilda have got plenty of tools. I think they'll do that again. Jeka as a offensive midfielder has been beautiful, and let's not let it be understated. If Jeka isn't in the All Australian side right now, they're doing it wrong.
All right, so just for the record, I'm really satisfied with how Jaga's been going last 2 or 3 games. And I think he's listened to us here on the show, the world's largest show, and for Hawthorn fans, that's fan run. And I think that he's obviously got the message, and man, he's really started to fill those big boots, which we thought he could do. And I'm really impressed with him. I think he's been doing great. Just for the record,
the biggest stat's not just getting his hands on the ball; it's the averaging 7.7 clearances. So 7 or 8 clearances, and we're not relying on Tom Mitchell to get the clearances anymore. So yeah, it makes a huge difference that it's getting the ball in his hands, and he's a lot more attacking, and his ball use is probably a little bit better than Tom Mitchell going forward. So
it's a lot better. It's not just a little better; it's a lot better. Like when he has a possession and he's disposing of the ball, I feel confidence when he's getting rid of it. When Tom Mitchell's doing it, I just feel like he's throwing it on the boot and it's just going anywhere and it's just going to get turned over at the moment. Boys, do we have a Tom Mitchell problem at the moment?
Oh, I'm not the biggest fan. I haven't been for a long time. But I don't want to talk negative of the guy. He's a Brownlow medalist and he's served our club greatly. So what do you do? He's still providing a lot for us. So you're not going to drop him, are you?
No. Are we going to trade him?
I'm open.
Yeah, I'm open to it. He fixed on the weekend, and to all my friends who talk to me about footy, I'm sorry for shoving this down your throat, but when he's not the 15-metre sideways target, we look so much cleaner. He had 25 on the weekend, I think. And we got the ball at half back, and we did go sideways at times, but it wasn't to Tommy, who, and I'm not being disrespectful here, and like Chris was saying, he's not our cleanest ball user. So when he's bottom of the pack, whether they've won the hit out or not, and I feel a lot more comfortable with Titch getting the ball on the bottom of the pack and handballing it out than he is like with space by himself, taking a bounce and kicking it inside 50. And I think we've got to use him for what he can do, not for what he can't do. And what he can't do is hit, 45-metre targets down the line, and that's okay if we need to get him out of that role. And on Sunday, I thought that was his best game for the year, because when we were fast and in transition, he was either handballing or he wasn't an uncontested option, and I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, you're right. Use him to his strength. So, yeah, I'm happy with that.
No, that's good. All right. If you're watching us tonight, it's likely that you're watching from Facebook, and we appreciate it. So, and don't forget to follow us and share it with your mates. Tag them on here and tell them to join the conversation with us. Also, we are looking to move our platform more to YouTube. We're not going to stop Facebook. We're going to keep that running. But if you haven't followed us on YouTube yet, please take your phone out and bring up YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe, and also hit the like button, and don't forget to hit the bell, the bell icon, so that you can be alerted as to when we're going live. So we do want to get our followers up on YouTube. So if you wouldn't mind following us through that would help us a lot, and that'd be great. So boys, moving on, who's going to win and by how much? And before you give me the answer, I'd love the viewers to give us their thoughts on who's going to win and by how much.
All right. While we're waiting for the viewers to put in their guesstimates, do just want to touch on the AFLW. We all had a win on the weekend at Hawthorn, so that was good. That was our VFL side. But really, as Jeff mentioned last week, pushing hard to get an AFLW team in. And I think on the 1st of May that they will be making the decision. So I think us and Essendon are pushing the hardest to potentially get a side in this year, or for next season. So, yeah, looking forward to it, and hopefully we can get it over the line.
Very cool. All right, Reeves.
I'll go. All right. Hawks I'm going to say I'm going to be confident and say Hawks, but I'm going to say 2 goals, so 12 points.
Yep, I was thinking the exact same. The Saints put up a fight. We hope they don't. Big win's a good win, but yeah, I would. I think this is probably the first game this year going in thinking it would be stunning if we lost, and especially if we lost in a bad way. I think the boys will get up. I'll tell you what, I was nervous at the end of the game predicting Mitch Lewis after the siren. Jeez, it was close. I was thinking, part of me was thinking, don't get it, Mitch, and the other part going, no, get it, Mitch. I'll look like an absolute genius. Boys get up. A couple of goals. Saints are in crisis, and we're all back here as happy as Larry again.
All right. I'm going to go one of my wild predictions again. This time I'm going St Kilda. I'm going Hawthorn, 42 points.
Wow.
Bang.
Yeah.
St Kilda would be in a crisis.
Yes. Yeah. And we're gonna cement that crisis for them.
Beautiful.
Well, I hope we're talking about your brilliant 42-point prediction next week.
Let's hope so. That'll be wonderful. All right, viewers. Well, thanks for joining us. It's been it's always good coming off a win, and we really appreciate you all. And thanks for following us. We love seeing you guys here. And Chris and Reese, thanks for joining us tonight. And don't forget to get down to see the Box Hill Hawks if you can get there, and also if you can get down to Marvel and watch them as well. Make sure you do so. I'm going down. I'm taking my family too. So, all right, boys, have a good night, and go Hawks.
Go Hawks.